Okay, I picked the event on should preschooler students be suspended. The current event was on August 26, 2016. The first thing I like to go over is the meaning of preschool. Preschool, also a nursery school, pre-primary school, kindergarten outside the US and UK, is an educational establishment or learning space offering every childhood education to children between the ages of 3 to 5, primary to the commencement of compulsory education of primary school. When we think of children, like obviously a lot of us don't really have children right now, but when we think of children, you know, the first thing we think is they're innocent, they're vulnerable, they're just a person trying to learn just like we did. We were all kids at a point. And when you send your kid off to school, you want them to be educated, you want them to be safe, so why should we bring discipline and suspension to a school, especially when your mind isn't fully developed? Like their humor, like their curiosity, like they're people just trying to learn just like we are. And when I was little, if I did something bad, my mom would slap my wrist and say, no, that's no good. And like, you would learn that way, but if you tell a kid that you can't go to school, like tomorrow because you threw some glitter in the air, how's that going to teach your kid that you shouldn't do that? It's just, oh yeah, free day off school. And eventually, like, you're going to develop in your brain, if you don't want to go to school, you're going to end up doing something bad. 6,743 children were enrolled in public pre-K and were suspended in the year of 2013 and 2014 in the school year. New data for the education development show that black students in kindergarten through high school are also almost 4 times more likely to be suspended from school than white students. Starting from preschool, teachers are shown to be the basis and have higher levels of discipline over black and male students. So when we first think of black people as like in our age now, we're kind of like, yo, what's up in the hood type of thing. But why should you base a person based on a color of skin? And honestly, it could be because you're at home, you're learning different things, you see things, that's the way your brain develops how you should be. But at school, they're just innocent just like everyone else. It shouldn't matter if you're black or white, because either way, the way you've been disciplined and the way you're teaching things is going to end up the exact same way. And a lot of teachers, not saying you, but like a lot of teachers in general actually do base bad kids on being a different color of skin. Reasons suspensions took place. Student mothers were debating against. A lot of moms actually got mad because they were saying that a lot of poverty was involved by the way they were teaching their children, by the way they were raising their kids was a reason that they should be disciplined. But it's not always based on the way you teach your kid, because everybody teaches their kids differently, they all develop differently. So it shouldn't really be their fault, and a lot of schools were basing it on parents' ways of teaching them. And white people that live in poverty were only 10%, black people were over 40%. So schools were harder to get paid for, harder to get into. Training and pay for preschool teachers are often, in several states, including the average pre-K teacher, 2015, the federal poverty line for a family of tour. So they're basically saying that if they wanted to keep them in school based on the way they were raised, based on their color, based on poverty, that they would have to pay the teachers more to discipline your kid. And the teachers shouldn't be the one to discipline your kid saying, you know, this kid hit this kid, or this one threw glitter at my face in school. They didn't want to do that, like do anything that they didn't want to, but kids are going to say no. They're not going to behave the way we want to. In high school, our brains fully develop more than a preschooler would, because we've learned, we've lived, we know things, we've been through different things, so it shouldn't be fair to pay the extra money just to give kids the education that they deserve. That's all.